Angry guy here, and women are blaming men for their loneliness as passport bros leave. Women are blaming men for their loneliness as passport bros leave. I mean, what did you expect to happen? Ultimately, you have a lot of these guys leaving, and women are seeing this and they're not pleased with this. Let's go ahead and jump straight into the video.
There is not a crisis of lonely single men. There is a crisis of misogyny.
What troubles me is that the media is complicit in this. Look at how many stories they're writing about this. Look at how sympathetic these articles are. And it's not that they shouldn't be sympathetic. It's not that we shouldn't have compassion. But where are all of these articles for women who are lonely in marriage, or women who are in dangerous marriages, or women who are most likely to be hurt or unalived by their domestic partners? Where's all that? This whole narrative that I've been seeing in the media has been really problematic for me. I have been quite nervous about it, and I couldn't quite figure out why until recently. At some point, I started getting a lot of comments from men, whether it was here or on my articles, and a lot of them were saying things like, this is such a simple problem. Women could solve it easily, but you choose not to. You choose to hurt us by continuing to opt out. And of course, what they're talking about here is opting out of being used for domestic labor and SUL fulfillment. Interestingly, there are a lot of problems that men could easily solve for women that would ultimately solve that problem too. But they choose not to solve those problems and do not hold themselves accountable for that. And yet, we are held accountable for this one. I've also noticed that a lot of men have been coming into my comment sections and saying things like, well, look at this crisis that we're in, this loneliness crisis. Like, you choose not to solve this, no one's listening to us, no one cares. And so when men commit violence against women, it's because of that. It's because we have no other option. They are literally rationalizing RAPE and MURDER and domestic violence by saying that we are not giving them what they want, and therefore they are justified in taking it in any way they can. And what troubles me is that the media is complicit in this. Look at how many stories they're writing about this. Look at how sympathetic these articles are. And it's not that they shouldn't be sympathetic. It's not that we shouldn't have compassion. But where are all of these articles for women who are lonely in marriage, or women who are in dangerous marriages, or women who are most likely to be hurt or unalived by their domestic partners? Where's all that? So as far as I can see, this whole narrative feels like it's being used to groom us back into submission. It's being used to rationalize male violence. It's being used to empower men to continue to be abusive to women. And I am not okay with that. So while I do care about men's mental health and their access to healthy relationships, when they start providing space for those healthy relationships, I'll be right there at the table to talk about it.
I've been thinking more about the rise of single lonely men. I've been thinking about how men take men's advice on relationships and how they tell women to shut up and that they're stupid and they're overreacting. And to me, this just comes to a pinnacle of like men rejecting consent, like the larger concept of consent, meaning they cannot accept that there are some things that women want and need in a healthy relationship. They're like, no, she's overreacting. She's crazy. I am big, strong man, and I make the rules, and she must be submissive. And I would love to have a wife that I could fully control. I would love to have a wife that I could cheat on and she doesn't say anything. And so much fucking complaining instead of just listening to the millions of women, not just now, but throughout history, who have said, hey, yeah, we just want you to be nice and like stop being assholes. And they just fundamentally reject that. Fundamentally reject the concept of women having some autonomy over their lives and what relationships look like. They're like, well, I'm a man. You should obviously want to be in a relationship with a man. Otherwise, you're going to end up a lonely spinster. I think not, sir. You are the lonely spinster. Even when we tell men that they're being assholes, they're like, no, you're overreacting. Am I overreacting, or are you desensitized? Because clearly your species isn't doing too fucking well in regards to gauging what makes you an asshole, what makes you insensitive, what makes you inconsiderate. And they have this idea of themselves in their head. They have this certain standard for themselves in their head. And when you show them anything about themselves, a mirror that shows them something they don't like about themselves, they reject it. They reject you. You're overreacting. You're crazy. And they just cannot accept that women might know what they're talking about when it comes to what they want, and that they should actually listen to that, and that they should adapt to that, because men really hate the idea of adapting. You know, they talk about masculinity being fixed and femininity being whatever, fluid, and it's to a fault.
A lot of women from many different generations.
So, you know what's interesting about this? Notice she actually referred to men as a different species. Yeah, I hope you guys caught that. Ultimately, you can see that men have found a solution. What men are doing is men are walking away from Western society. They're going overseas and they're starting new lives overseas. They're saving their money and they're using that money to rebuild and to heal. Okay, they're finding women overseas that have their femininity intact, that value, that cook, that clean, that value family, and they're building themselves up. And then there are also some guys who are choosing to completely disengage from society as much as possible. They only work as much as they have to survive. And what a lot of people don't understand, and what a lot of women don't comprehend, is that men don't need a lot to survive. A guy making $50,000-$60,000 a year, if he's not going to marry and he's not going to have children, he will live the cheapest life possible. A guy will go out, he will buy himself a camper. You heard me. He'll buy himself a camper, and he will put that camper on in a trailer park or wherever. Find a piece of land where he can park it, and he will live as cheap as possible, and he will save the vast majority of his salary, and he will live very happy. He'll have his video games, he'll have his entertainment, he'll have food, a place to sleep, and he doesn't need to worry about anything else. And that's how he'll operate. Women don't understand that the reason why men go out there and they work hard and accumulate large amounts of wealth is so that they can go and find a woman who'll be in a relationship with them. But when you're being told you need to have hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, and you need to have all these other things as well, men are realizing it's not practical. Only 17% of men make $100,000 a year in the United States, and only 8% of women make $100,000 or more in the United States. Think about that very carefully. The average man only makes $50,000 a year in the US, and the average woman only makes $36,000 a year in the US. When you take this into consideration, you realize that what women are asking for is completely beyond the possible means for the average guy. The average guy is not going to begin making these ridiculous amounts of money. Not everyone can do that, including the average woman. As you can see, that's the reason why more and more women are beginning to rush into the soft girl era, because they're realizing, yeah, I'm done with this. I've been trying for the last 10 or 20 years. It hasn't worked out. It was a good run. I've had my fun. Now I want to live a soft life, and I'm going to I'm going to dress modestly. I'm going to, add feminine. I'm going to speak in a cutesy way and exude femininity. Basically, I'm going to ask for a traditional life. Traditional life, even though I won't be a traditional wife, because I'm not going to cook. I'm not going to clean, but I want the nice things given to me because I deserve it, and I'm going to portray myself as the kind of woman that men would be attracted to traditionally. But and as you can see, a lot of women have said that it's a scam. It's an absolute scam. And there's such a large empathy gap, because if you listen to these women, they have no empathy, zero empathy for men, the way they talk, the way they describe things. And this is why guys are realizing, yeah, we're done with we're literally done with this, and they'll say just about anything to to keep guys, keep the orbiters orbiting. Guys, this is like I said, I said this quite some time ago. You're gonna ask, we're gonna get to a point in society where women are going to start reverting, and they're going to start trying to make a return to traditionalism, and they're going to try to dress feminine, and they're going to try to act feminine and speak in a feminine way. And you'll ask them questions. What do you think about women empowerment? What do you think? Are you what, a fema? And they're going to say fema what, fema who, fema what? Do you mean FEMA camp? Oh, I've heard of those places. They're terrible. I don't want to go there. I don't really know. I'm just a girly girl. I like to play with Barbies and watch the Princess Diaries. I stay away from politics. I love Jesus and my family. That's the only F that I'm into. And I mean, guys, that's really what it is. It's a scam. It's a scam. Are you looking for a Christian Filipina partner who shares your faith and values? If so, you should check out Christian Filipina, the most trusted dating site for men and women who want to find love and marriage in the Philippines. Christian Filipina has helped thousands of couples meet and start their journey together. You can join for free and browse through thousands of profiles of beautiful and sincere Filipinas who are ready to connect with you. Click the link below in my description and sign up today using my special affiliate code. You won't regret it. What do you guys think about this? Women are blaming men for their loneliness as Pastor Bros leave. You know what I think, but I want to know what you think. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.